Welcome to our channel. Thank you so much for watching our videos. We are so grateful. Kindly click on subscription button and also the notification bell so that anytime we come with good content, you will be able to benefit. Our goal here is not to give you information, right? But our goal here is to provide you solution. So welcome, Dominic.
Thanks for having me, George.
Now, I want to pick your thoughts on the new global trend of virtual work, even though there's a kind of hybrid. But let's say a young guy in Africa who is in Kampala, Nairobi, Mombasa, Gaborone, in Accra or Kumasi, who is studying information technology, cybersecurity, computer science. What advice do you have for such students for them to be able to position themselves to compete globally, who are into technology, things that they need to be focused on?
So let me just say this to sort of big up our people back home, right? Our folks in Africa are really smart, right? The unfortunate thing is that a lot of times when it comes to IT and cybersecurity, it's based on regulations, right? So for example, in the US, for example, if you're in the federal government, you need to adhere to NIST, right? If you're in the credit card industry, right, PCI DSS, so there are all of these regulations out there that bring about the frameworks that people need to adhere to, right, that eventually leads to jobs. Unfortunately for us in Africa, right, cybersecurity is not at the level that it is here in the West, right? That is the unfortunate thing. So personally, if I was advising somebody in Africa to look into IT, I would say go technical, right? Go technical because, in Africa, you need people like maybe computer technicians, maybe a laptop is broken, somebody needs to fix it. That type of work, you'll find a lot more of that there than you find it here, right? Somebody living in Africa, because the governments in Africa a lot of times, they're not following a certain type of framework. It's difficult for me to train, because even in my class, I've had a couple of people from Ghana take my class, right? And I'm teaching NIST RMF, I'm teaching NIST cybersecurity framework, I'm teaching a little PCI here, vendor risk there, right? But the truth of the matter is this: if somebody is taking the course from Ghana, the market in Ghana for these things are very low compared to the technical side of it, right? Is it good if they learn it? Absolutely, right? And also living in Ghana and even if you're trained in GRC cybersecurity and you look for jobs overseas, I think the challenge is that a lot of times everything is all about the internet. If I'm hiring somebody from Africa to work for me, then it's a remote job. They need to remote into my network, right? There's a security issue there if I hire somebody and they have to remote in from another region in Africa, right, where we know that the internet is not that great, right? So the challenge for me is that learn all that you can, learn all that you can. Even try to see if you can affiliate with a foreign company, if you can apply to foreign jobs, right? I hope in the near future Africa steps up its game, and do better as far as that's concerned, right? So as far as being able to compete globally, I would say that when we get to the point where we are creating our own content, sharing it on Google, on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, and all of these places, I think for Africans, that's where you can really thrive, right? Because it's these areas, you're not really working directly for a company, right? You sort of working for yourself. If you're a YouTuber in Africa, you're not answering to anybody. You're making your own content and posting it, right? So if your content is able to make a lot of, get a lot of views and therefore make some money, then YouTube is sending the money directly to you. It's rather unfortunate that when it comes to the corporate side of things, right? Because we are not, there's not a lot of regulation per se, right? The jobs are not, as you would find it here in the States or maybe in England or other places, right? So, I know I've gone, a whole circle, right? But please, if you're in Africa, the technical aspect of cybersecurity, I want you to take it seriously. Cisco, get into CCNA is really important. Linux, absolutely important, right? Because that's the level where Africa is at that level. So if you can get into those areas, I don't too much want to get into the GRC stuff over there, because like I said, it's about a regulation. And so if the regulation is not in your area, then it's just not the same, basically. Yeah.
So, of course, you've talked about GRC, mentioned Cisco, Linux. Do you have some resources, or are there any resources that these people can tap into that we can share in our description for individuals?
Okay, so there are a lot of free tools online. Like if I wanted to install a Linux server, maybe a basic. There are so many flavors of Linux online that you can get for free and install onto a laptop, a virtual box, right, and play with it. These are all tools online. Even on Cisco, if you go to cisco.com, there are so many free stuff on cisco.com that you can read up on. There are there are also, just doing a normal Google search, right? They're like myself, for example. If I'm about to get into some type of interview, a Cisco interview, I'll go on YouTube and type in Cisco interview questions. There are plethora of videos online that I can learn from. So if you want to learn either Linux, Cisco, any other technical stuff, please just go on Google and type in a Linux course or a Cisco course, and there are videos there that you can watch from day 1 to day 30 that will give you the guidance that you need, even if you're in school and your school is not necessarily teaching that.
So, I know earlier you and I were talking about freelancing. How can some of these students benefit from the global freelancing? I know there's Fiverr, there's Upwork, and then see if you need something like a website to go there, and somebody's in Vietnam or maybe in Philippines or in India or Pakistan. How can somebody, as I said, in Kampala, in Gaborone, in Kumasi, or Tamale, or Takrady, in Yamoussoukro, or Abidjan, and they're studying, they know the stuff, how can they tap into the world of freelancing?
Okay, all right. So, I would say that get your name out there, right? It's free to create a Facebook page. It's free to create a YouTube page. You can create an Instagram page, right? Create these pages and put your services on them, right? And begin to advertise yourself. Take instead of doing videos and talking to your friends all the time, do a short video and post it on YouTube about something that you do, right? Or your Facebook page. Create a nice Facebook page and list a bunch of things that you can do. Go on Fiverr and sign up for an account, and put your information there if there's a particular thing that you can do. I know on Fiverr, people are always looking for people that have expertise in some things, right? I have a young man in Ghana, Chris Accord. This guy is super when it comes to creating Facebook pages, like a business Facebook page, Instagram, and these type of things, right? And I know that there are a bunch of Chris's in Ghana, in Kampala, and all these places. Those skills that you have, don't let them sit in your own small village. Don't let it die. Get out on YouTube, on Facebook, and Instagram, and put yourself out there, and somebody is going to come in for your service.
We'll put some information in our description session for individuals. If you're in any university across Africa, please don't be left out. We're going to share some good information in our description session. We need the next generation to take the mantle. So Dominic, thank you so much, and we will get more information from you in terms of resources and share it in our description session. Please share the video, reach out, make a comment, and if you need a qualified trainer, reach out to Dominic, and then he will be able to speak with you. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in our next video. Thank you.